Let Me Your Scream was born from a silence too familiar one. I have carried it in my own body, and I have witnessed in the women around me. For years, I, Bint.Aisha, have lived inside rooms where women's truth was softened, dismissed, or swallowed because the world taught us to fear the sound of our own voices. I knew deeply that we deserved a space that could hold our stories without demanding that we shrink ourselves. This magazine is a sanctuary for the stories the world tries to quieten. It is a declaration that our voices do matter, that our pain deserves witness, and that our healing deserves space. Here, every woman can scream on her own terms and know that she will be held, believed, and honored. Lend Me Your Scream is not just a publication. It is a collaboration, a movement, and a rebellion led by women who refuse to be silent. It is the place where testimony becomes power and where every survivor can say that this is my story and I'm not alone. Well, this is my story and I'm not alone. So, karibu Bint.Aisha.
Thank you.
Can you do us the honors of introducing yourself again?
All right. Yeah. My name is Bint.Aisha. Well, I am, first and foremost, I'm a poet to the core. Poetry is everything I do, and life already in itself is poetry. I'm an author of 2 poetry anthologies, 4 journals, and some bookmarks. I am a mental health activist at heart, and at the actions I do, and in my blog, and in advocation on totality in life. I am a blogger. Oh my God, you guys should see my blog. I really am good with the words. Utaingia box, lakini sio your box nafikiria. Anyway. I am a businesswoman. I am venturing into the food business, I had ventured into the food business, and I am now coming back there very, very soon. I am a biker in training, hopefully to own a biker very soon. Na sio biker yenye unafikiria tafadhali. I mean, sports bike, please. Thank. And I'm a student, university student, hopefully hoping to finish my degree very, very soon because I'm tired. And I am dipping my feet into the film sector. Yes, so I think that's about me.
I feel like sasa hizo vitu zote nikijaribu kusema probably at some point I would have lost the track, but anyway it's good that you've just introduced yourself. So I think now for clarity, maybe wakone nyuma ya tent
tafadhali,
as time goes
please you know
and just from the basis that you're a poet, you're a creative or multi-centered creative. Why poetry?
I think just poetry chose me. I do not know, or rather I would not rather put myself in the particular order of saying I am just a poet alone. I am a writer in totality, but poetry is my home, and I am home with poetry. So I'd say that's totally it with poetry.
That's a first. That's a first.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when I host artists or creatives, maybe who are musicians, maybe rappers, singers, and so forth, they usually have a background story like, oh, I came from this, I came from that, I was inspired by this, inspired by that, maybe my culture and so forth. So for me, I think it's actually a good note that we are starting from just poetry chose you, it is poetry, you are poetry, and that's that. Apart from just having too many stories. But I do think the stories do matter.
Of course, the stories do matter. We're not invalidating the idea of a story, but then a home has a lot of stories as well, you know? So I'd say the same. It's everybody has a reason why they chose what they chose, yeah? And it's a story at the end of the day. So I am just saying mine is that me and poetry are like, we can't divorce each other. We tried.
How many years down the line?
Well, if we start with writing. I started writing in primary. In primary, I started writing songs. You can just imagine. I was a singer in primary.
The spirit.
Then in high school, I started writing a novel.
Yeah.
And I found my passion there. I think writing spoke to me some sort, whatever the geniuses say. But it made me feel at home. It made me feel at ease. And then in high school, I could decipher the poems that we were given to read more quickly than other people could. And it made me feel like, why do I understand this thing? What do you mean you can't see it? And when I came to university and I started being a literature student, I think poetry spoke to me. It made me feel like, how do I put it? It really made me feel home. Yeah. So I'd say it was both of us choosing each other.
Mm-hmm. It was a mutual.
Yes, it was a mutual symbiosis. Please.
Now, talking about writing,
yes.
Mostly, do you do figurative writing or literal writing, or you do both?
I genuinely think all artists should really just do everything. So I'd say if I constrict myself to one particular place, I'd say that's shallow of me. Because art is everything in life. So you can't just pick and,
But you come from a place. You come from
Yes,
somewhere.
you do come from... I started with fiction. Yes, I started with, in a way, I have had a mental illness. I've been battling a mental illness for the longest time, and I did not know then. I just knew that I was different, but I didn't know what was different about me. And in some way or form or shape, I used to create stories from the most silliest notions, just to tap into a human emotion. Because I feel like human emotion, once you tap into it, it will always eke them. They'll always have that feeling like, why did he get to me like that? I'm like, I wanted to do that. I didn't want to get to you, your mind, your soul. I wanted your emotions. I think that's how I started off.
Okay.
I said, if I want to write something, I wanted to touch your emotion, because then I know I would have spooked you somehow. So, yeah. And then I got into figurative, and then now we got into actual. Non-fiction is really ugh. But we are trying, because I feel like sometimes when you write about stories that have happened to you, we cross the line from fiction to it being literal stories.
Yeah, definitely.
So I say sometimes I am literal with my writing, as liberal as I can be. Yeah, and sometimes I'm as fictitious as a rat chasing a cat could be.
Because I feel like the main reason as to why I asked you that, because I've had friends who are writers, but now they've transitioned into mainstream writing, whereby they do opinion writing and so forth. So for them, opinion polls opinion pieces are all about literal writing.
Literal writing, yeah.
Because now you're just feeding a large mass of people.
I think with writing is you grow and you learn and you get to expand your thought process. So necessarily you might think that you want to do fiction, but then you grow and some parts of or something in your life happens and you grow in a certain way, and you find out that fiction is not the only thing you can write about, that you want to write about something else. So I'd say writing is vast in its own nature, and artists are multifaceted, so they can tap into whatever they wish it to be.
Okay. You've touched something that's quite critical, and I want us to dwell on that for a few. I don't know if you're comfortable about it. I have to do concerts.
Okay.
Comfortable?
It depends on what it is. You can't ask for consent without someone knowing what it is.
You should never reverse their secret.
Okay.